Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back, viewers. Let's talk about stock market and what's happening at a geopolitical level. First thing I want to talk about is Tesla and Elon Musk. Of course, this afternoon, Elon Musk was spotted sitting with Donald Trump at Charlie Kirk's funeral, and also there was a tweet on X. Somebody posted that Charlie Kirk has managed to brought them together. There was a picture posted. They were both sitting together talking about something. You probably have seen that picture on my thumbnail. I'll try to put that on my thumbnail. And it said that, and they were shaking hands and they were, talking very closely. And he, the person who posted on X said that Charlie Kirk has managed to bring these both together. Donald Trump also tweeted that Elon Musk and I are friends again. This is very bullish for Tesla because we know recently, since Elon Musk had left the White House and politics, there was heated argument going on between Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and that this is going to cool off the situation. I know later on they had apologized and they had managed to kind of leave it at good terms. Also, Donald Trump posted that Elon Musk and I are friends again, which is also very bullish for Tesla. At the same time, Tesla has been granted regulatory approval in Arizona state as well to test drive their ride-hailing and robotaxis in Arizona, which are obviously supervised, which is also very good for Tesla because this is removing all those hurdles, the regulatory hurdles, which Elon Musk was more concerned about because some of the states were giving him hard time. For example, California, he was having hard time getting the regulatory approvals. Also, he has been granted an additional 30 days of tax credit on his Model Y, which is also going to be very bullish for Tesla because it's going to boost up the Tesla sales and it's going to make, have Tesla deliveries increase, the sales increase, and obviously the margin will increase as well. All these bullish catalysts are in the pipeline for Tesla, which I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla goes to $500 by the end of this next week, which starts tomorrow. I know originally my price prediction for Tesla was $400 to $450 by the end of the year. We've already pretty much accomplished that. And there was a resistance at $414 level. And I said in my last video that we have to clear that 414 first before we go to 460. We have been bouncing back and forth at between 414 and 430 levels or 426 levels. The reason why it jumped so much from 414 because the first stop was supposed to be 414, but it jumped higher because Elon Musk bought $1 billion worth of Tesla shares, and that's what gave the stock a boost. But then it just pulled back to that 414 level because that's a very critical level for Tesla to clear before it goes to the next levels. Anyways, with all this bullish catalyst, with the news, with the regulatory approval, Elon Musk and Donald Trump being friends, the tax credit being increased is going to make the Tesla stock run even higher next week. And I think I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think it might, it's kind of hard to predict at this point. The first level is $460. For a moment, it could touch $500. You never know because, people get very enthusiastic and excited, especially when Elon Musk and Donald Trump are sitting together and everybody is posting those pictures of Elon Musk and Donald Trump sitting together at Charlie Kirk's funeral. It's making all the investors and retail traders very excited, including myself, because when the president of the country has problem with the company CEO, that's not a very good sign. I know the problem wasn't very deep, and they had tried to work it out later on after the first heated argument that they had, but still that little tint of grudge was probably there, which I think has been eliminated and gone now. The other thing I want to talk about is NVIDIA's Blackwell chip is very high in demand, and so many companies, for example, Meta, Google, all these companies are buying NVIDIA chips. And they're placing large orders for NVIDIA chips for the future, which is going to give NVIDIA stock a boost. I know I had promised someone to make a separate video on AMD and NVIDIA, which I will do, but for now I just want to give like a small brief update on NVIDIA stock and Palantir as well. I was talking to my friend a couple of days ago and I said Palantir will turn back to $180 level, and it actually did reach there on Friday. And my friend said, why didn't you buy it? I said, because I still think it's very overvalued and I just don't want to get stuck at high price and buy in now. If it doesn't drop, it's fine. But if it does drop, I'm going to wait for that $80 drop, which I don't know if it will ever go there, but you never know, it might go. Because when the stock initially run, they get into this bubble category territory, and then they drop suddenly, and then you can take 20, 30, 40% price cut, and then you can buy at those levels. That has always been the case, but in these two stocks, and these two stocks are taking a little bit longer to pull back. They do have small pullbacks, $5, $10 pullback, but nothing major, nothing significant, which will excite me to kind of start the position. However, NVIDIA I think, has very high demand for their Blackwell chips, and I think it's gonna keep going higher. $200 the next level. Now we have to see whether it hits $200 level first, or it comes back to $150 level before it goes to 200. The other thing I wanted to talk about is some geopolitical situations that are taking place recently. Pakistan, I'm from Pakistan, so if I don't talk about Pakistan and the strategic changes that are taking place in my country, it will be not fair. So I have to give this update. Recently, Pakistan and Pakistan and Saudi Arabia had a strategic agreement signed, treaty signed to provide the protection to each other, which means attack on one nation means attack on the other nation. So prior to this, U.S. had always looked towards the United States of America to provide the security for the royalty, and also the security for the kingdom itself. But now, in the recent times, between what took place between Israel and Iran, and then Israel attack on Qatar, I think that kind of turned Saudi prince off, and they decided to go to some other country which can provide better security to the royalties and to the kingdom. And other country was no better than Pakistan, because Pakistan is the only Muslim nuclear state, and also Pakistan is the country who does not accept Israel as a state. So Pakistan is not afraid to stand up with the Saudi kingdom, and also Pakistan is not afraid to provide protection to the royalties of Saudi, because Saudi Arab has a very strategic value and very spiritual value to Muslims and Pakistanis, of course, because majority of the population in Pakistan is Muslim. So our holy land, Makkah and Medina, is there, and Pakistan feels honored to provide the security for the Saudi kingdom. Also, if a country attacks Pakistan, Saudi government and the Saudi kingdom is going to be standing by Pakistani and nation to provide them the security. So two military forces will come together to protect each other, which is very big news. And I think the reason why Saudi Arab did this is because in the recent attack on Qatar that Netanyahu had started, though Donald Trump and Netanyahu had a very heated argument on the phone over this attack, but at the same time, Saudi prince obviously realized that if America ever has to choose between Israel and one of the Muslim nations, maybe Donald Trump will be forced to kind of stand by Israel and Netanyahu, and that's why they changed their policy and they decided to go to a different route to get the security that they needed. There's also rumor that U.S. already knew about Netanyahu's attack on Qatar, and people are saying it could be just a conspiracy theory, but you never know, that U.S. had already sent an alert to Qatar government saying that there is an attack being planned on your land, so you should take care of it, and do the preparation, and that's why Qatar didn't face as much damage as it could have happened if they were not aware of it. But that could be just a conspiracy theory because there's no evidence and proof to back it up. But I know Donald Trump was not happy about this attack that Netanyahu had planned on Qatar, and eventually he did it. This whole Israel's agenda to attack every Muslim nation and expand to the Muslim territories and have greater Israel. Israel is going to keep doing this, and therefore Saudi government realized that this is the time that they need to move away from US and all the other Western nations for their protection and safety. And that's why they looked up towards Pakistan, and Pakistan was happy to do so, because Pakistan also needs help from the Muslim countries, especially someone like Saudi Arabia, Saudi Kingdom, because though Pakistan military is very strong and it's very well trained. However, financially, they cannot afford to fight on multiple fronts. This whole situation is causing lots of tension to India and Israel together. The other reason recently I've been noticing that lots of countries have been praising Pakistan and they've been kind of shifting away from India. This is a very non-biased discussion that I'm kind of having here. Previously, U.S. government, the U.S. politicians have always praised India and they have always stood by India for multiple reasons. But then recently, during we have heard Donald Trump say love Pakistan so many times and have been very polite to Pakistan and have been trying to saying that, oh, I want to work with the Pakistani government to make the situations better. And he was also trying to have peace agreement between India and Pakistan as well. And he wanted to be the mediator. All those things are taking place for a very specific reason, and I'll tell you why. In the recent trade war between China and U.S. government, U.S. was trying to have China sign an agreement to pay higher tariff, which China resisted. And then before this agreement took place, China started. China put a ban on their rare mineral reserves, which are used widely in so many areas in of the technology, the cell phones, the autonomous cars, the electric cars. They all use these minerals, and of course, they are mainly imported from China. And when China put a ban on it, it kind of and then it kind of had Donald Trump scratch his head. And then it was found out that from all those minerals, about 60 of them are available in one other country, and that other country is Pakistan. There's a reserve of those minerals, which are very valuable and very expensive. They are found in Gilgit-Baltistan, which is why Donald Trump is trying to get closer to Pakistan. And also, China has always been our friend, ally, and friendly nation to us. But now even China is coming more closer to Pakistan because China and US are on this tariff war, and obviously China has decided not to export his rare earth minerals to US, and also China also would probably want Pakistan not to do the same as well. So that's why strategically both these countries are trying to get closer to Pakistan for their own personal interest. Uh, so all these things, and that kind of shifted U.S. government away from India for the time being because they realized they cannot be friends with India and Pakistan at the same time. And if they have to sound friendly and come across friendly, they will have to drift away from India, at least for now. And that's exactly what they're doing. And there are lots of videos are being made on India, why all of a sudden people start hating Indians and why Donald Trump is against Modi. And I recently during Pakistan-India war that took place, the small, couple days war that took place, some Indian man asked me, what are your proof on the news they're spreading? So I sent him the proof because there were proofs on the Western media, and then he started bad mouthing U.S. government and Donald Trump because he said, well, they're lying, their media is lying because of ABC. And he just gave me a list of these whole reasons. What people don't understand is we all know that all these countries come together and become friends with each other because of their own personal interest. They're not friends with you. They're not friends with India. They're not friends with Pakistan. They're not friends with any nation. Everybody is collaborating with each other because they want to use each other's resources. And when you have something to offer to them which is valuable, they will come closer to you. So if you thought, and this is to my Indian viewers, if you thought the U.S. was a friendly nation to you because you are special people, then that was your mistake. And if you thought the U.S. was bad mouthing Pakistan because Pakistan is some stupid country, that's also wrong because there's talent available in both of these countries. There are resources in both of these countries. So it really depends at the time being who they need the most, and that's who they are going to lean forward to, and that's who they are going to be friends with, and that's exactly what US is doing now. We don't have any, khush fahmi, as you call it in Urdu, that Pakistan, that maybe US is becoming close friends with us. No, we know they're not. They're just trying to get closer to Pakistan because they want to they need Pakistan now at the moment at least. Also, with the recent war between India and Pakistan, they saw the military strength of Pakistani Air Force and Pakistan military, and that's also kind of sent a shock wave across the globe because India has been promoting itself as a very strong country economically and militarily and all this good stuff. That's well and good. I'm sure they have strong economy better than Pakistan probably, or maybe not. Who knows? I don't know the in-depth details of their economy. I can study it and probably make a video on it, but that's not my area of interest, and I choose not to. Um, so they have been, glorifying their nation, which is good. Every country should do this. And at the same time, Pakistan has unfortunately not glorified itself, and I think the main reason is our illiterate politicians who have not developed the nationalism for Pakistan yet. Hopefully, one day soon they will do it. The public, however, has strong love for the country, love for the nation, especially us who live in outside of Pakistan, live in these Western nations. We miss home, and we can foresee and we can see through all these Indians and Westerns and Europeans, and we can see how we are so much better in so many areas. Of course, I'm not saying in every area, but in so many areas we are so much better as Pakistani Muslims than all these people, but we don't glorify ourselves. It's a sad reality of our country. So, having said that, after this war, when Pakistan won, and suddenly the world realized that India is, after all, not as strong as it claims to be economically or militarily, they, within span of 2 hours, how could so strong Rafale jets can be killed, six of them, and not a single one from Pakistani side. There is also and now this whole incident is being taught as a case study across the globe in the military academies, because this is a very unique situation that took place, because India had twice the size of the army, or jets flying, but Pakistan had half the size, and yet Pakistan won the war. Rafale's stock fell because everybody thought Rafale was like unbeatable and all this good stuff. But then suddenly they realized that it's not Rafale. It's like obviously the military training that's going to make you win or lose the war. Anywho, so this was some of the global situation that was taking place. Is this going to have any impact on the stock market? Probably not, at least not in the short term. But yes, if there's a war broke down, then this Saudi Arabia and Pakistan treaty that has been signed is going to have an impact on the economy, on the stock market as well. So going forward next week, I think NVDA is going to go to 200 probably. I'm not sure if it's going to pull back to 150 first and then go to 200, or is this going to keep going going higher. But 182 will reach, and then I think I'll hover over there for a little while until some other big news comes, and then it will eventually go to $200 probably before the end of the year. Tesla, with all these bullish catalysts, with Donald Trump and Elon Musk being friends, with the tax credit being expanded for 30 days, I think Tesla's probably going to hit $500 before the end of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if it hits 500 by the end of next week or week after. I think it's that close. So what am I doing? I'm still holding my shares. I know I wanted to sell my sister shares at $460 level, but because of so many good catalysts are coming, so I'm trying to make the most out of her money and give her a little more profit. If there was nothing new coming up, then I would have sold, at these levels where Tesla is right now, because that will still give me a couple $100 profit for her stocks. But for as far as my own shares are concerned, I'm still holding them. I want to buy NVIDIA so bad because I love that company and I love their product and I want to be part of this beautiful story. But I think it's very overvalued. So is Palantir, and I'm just waiting for both of these stocks to drop before I can start my position. A friend of mine who trades with me, she bought 3 shares of Palantir last week. She asked me, is this a buy? And I said, 150 is not a bad price. Don't go all in yet. At least start a position, because I knew that she wanted to buy Palantir shares as well. So she started her position just buying 3 shares last week. And then she said, why don't you buy? And I told her, I was like, this is the reason, because I don't want to get stuck with these high value stocks. Because in 2021, I made that mistake. I bought Alibaba, Zoom, XYZ at very high price, because of the time they were running, just like NVIDIA and Palantir is running. They were in bubble territory. and they pulled back 10%. I said, this is it. It has dropped so much. I'm going to buy in. So I bought in, and then they dropped significantly. So I'm like 50, 60% lower than my purchase price. And now I have dollar cost average, but I need to have cash for this. And I just don't want to put more cash into it before, I want to buy other stocks that I really like right now, which are running. And most of them are AI quantum stocks. They're doing very well. So I just want to buy those and enjoy the way while it's going up. So, and I told her, well, these are the reasons I have all these stocks that I bought are very high. They're good companies. They will eventually go there, but right now I'm like 40, 50% down on those stocks, and I don't want to put more money into it because I can use that money elsewhere for now. And then she understood. She was like, okay, that makes sense. So I'm just going to start a small position, and maybe we can buy later on once the stock goes higher. Anyways, that was a small update. So next week I'm very bullish, very very excited. Let's see what happens to Tesla. I know the futures open up down this afternoon after 6 p.m. Usually futures open at 6, past after 6 o'clock. They were down a little because they have been running up for past week, and I think it's time that people will probably start taking profit. However, future opening red or green doesn't mean that's the direction the stock market is going to go to. There may be a small pullback in the morning, and then it could just rally after 11 o'clock as usual. So you never know. But overall, in the short term, I think I'm not. I think I know I'm bullish until the first week of October, October 3rd, October 1st, October 3rd. I think there is no negative catalysts that are on the way, and I think stock market is going to keep going. So for next 10 days. I am pretty bullish on the market, and I think market is going to stay green for the most part. Bitcoin, my gosh. I know I want to buy it so bad as well, just like NVIDIA and Palantir, but I'm afraid. My fear is that I don't want to buy high and then I have dollar cost average, and this is a very expensive digital asset. I don't endorse Ethereum and Shiba and Dogecoin and all those because I think they don't have the same characteristics as Bitcoin. Can you make money off of those? Absolutely. Right now, I think Ethereum is hot ever since Tom Lee started its Ethereum ETF, whatever he started, BMNR. I think Ethereum is gonna go higher because people trust and respect Tom Lee, but for religious reasons, I would not buy Ethereum because to me, that's gambling. Bitcoin is more like the real money. It has more real money characteristics, solid money characteristics. So that's why I don't mind investing into Bitcoin. But same problem. I'm waiting for it to drop a little bit before I buy it. Would it drop? Probably not. It has already gone down in the $4,000 or $5,000. But I wanted to go under 100,000. I should have bought it at 77, but then I was thinking it probably will go to $67,000, and I was trying to minimize my risk, but that didn't happen. You win some, you lose some. That's part of the game. But yes, I think Bitcoin is the future. Bitcoin, you can't trust dollar. Gold is the future. If you don't like Bitcoin, then you can, have invest in gold. That is the future, not personalized financial advice. I do have some gold in the form of jewelry and the form of biscuits, and trust me, gold has never disappointed me. It has always gone up in price, and when I look at the prices of the gold right now, I was like, thank God I bought some gold biscuits when I had the money, and I put them away because they're worth a lot of money now, and I could utilize them on my children's wedding or maybe for their college or whatever. Whenever I need it, I can sell it and I can use that money, or I may not sell it. Just make the jewelries out of them and give it to my children as a gift. Us Pakistanis, we like gold jewelry. Anyways, yeah, Bitcoin. Other cryptocurrencies, you can make lots of money because right now every cryptocurrency is hot. Just like 2021, all these crypto, like Dogecoin was very popular then, and people made lots of money off of Doge. People made lots of money off of Bitcoin even back then. They made lots of money on Ethereum. Ethereum was very cheap at the time, so people did make lots of money. So right now, if you don't have any religious restrictions, you can obviously go ahead and invest in any of the cryptocurrency right now. But be very mindful, some of them are real scams. So at least even if you don't want to invest in Bitcoin because it may be too expensive, and you want to invest into other cryptocurrencies, at least look for the ones that are more reliable, who have more respectable and trusted names attached to them. For example, Ethereum, Shiba is okay. So just be very mindful of where you invest. Anyway, that's the story. I hope this video helped. I hope you understood my perspective. until the next one, take care, be safe out there, and don't lose money. Goodbye.